Steps, positive steps. My video this week's gonna be a little different than normal, but that's okay. Hi, welcome back to Steps, Positive Steps. My name is Stephanie, and welcome to my weekly show. This week, I want to do another viewer request video on what it's like to be married. This is a single friend who's been in a long-term relationship, and she just thought it'd be fascinating for me to talk a little bit about how being married is different from the single life. So, as I talk about my marriage, I just want you to keep in mind that this is my unique experience and that everyone's marriage is a little bit different. And that's of course because you're taking two completely unique people, putting them together, and then it's kind of like chemistry. You mix two different chemicals and you're going to get different reactions. And there might be similarities between how chemicals mix, but they're all going to be a little bit different. So while this may be similar to other people's marriages and relationships, my experience is my own, and the same thing with my husband. We have very unique experiences. I've been married for 3 years now, just a blink for some people who've been married a long time, but at the same time, I'm almost forgetting what the single life was like. When I was single, I was very boy crazy. I was the kind of girl to stare at the moon at night and wonder, is there someone out there who loves me? Yep. That was me. I had a lot of unrequited love and people that I really admired and wanted to be with who did not feel the same way back. It was a lot of downtime and free time and wondering what my future spouse was going to look like. I remember I would go anywhere with friends at the drop of a hat if I could. I was very social, very active, but also very wanting someone to be in my life for a long time. I had some friends who thought it'd be really good for me to get married at some point, just because of how much I wanted to be in a relationship with someone. When I was single, I would worry a lot about if I was good enough, if there was anyone who was ever going to love me for me, but the universe answered those questions. I found someone who loves me for me. Probably loves me more than I ever thought someone could love me for me, which is really, really awesome. Speaking from my experience in my marriage and how unique it is, my married life is very different from my single life in these ways. For one, I have a lifelong roommate. I don't ever have to worry about a new living situation with different people because I know my roommate and his habits and my habits, and we have that all sorted out. And so there's no drama of, is this going to work or not? I know his bad habits and he knows mine. And when we are home together, we're there for each other. I know sometimes when you have roommates, you both have different things going on and you may not even be friends, but for us, we are there for each other all the time. And now that I'm married, another thing is that I know what true love feels like. I know what it feels like to have someone love me despite my insecurities and to always be rooting for me and wanting the best for me. He loves me more than I love myself at times, and I don't have to worry about finding true love because I have it. And so that's a weight off my shoulders because that's something that I wanted for a long time that I don't have to worry about anymore. Now that I'm married, I have a lot less freedom. I can't be as spontaneous with my friends and I have more responsibilities, but I'm okay with that. My husband likes to see me several times a day, and so I'm home at those times, If he wants to see me at dinner time or when he wakes up or before he goes to bed, I'm gonna be at home then, there for him. We don't have kids yet, so I do have a lot more flexibility that way in terms of spending time with friends or pursuing other interests, but at the same time, I can't be out all day and all night ignoring him. But I'm okay with that because in return, I have his love and affection. Also, I have more responsibilities. Some things you can slack off on when you're single, like how you manage your finances or your cleaning habits, personal hygiene, whatever, you can slack off on those things at certain times when you're single, but when you're married, it's a little different, it's like you're in this together, and so you have more responsibilities to balance things out between the two of you to make them work. So if you don't like responsibility or having time commitments, maybe marriage isn't your thing, and that's okay. In terms of being committed to someone for a long time, you don't run at the first sign of trouble. If there's a problem, you have to learn to talk about it. Even if it's just a feeling like, oh, I feel upset about something, you have to bring it up to your spouse. You can't avoid those uncomfortable conversations. In fact, it would be insulting to hide something from them just because you're too scared to talk about it or you don't want to feel those feelings. If you disagree on how the dishes should be done, like, it's not the most fun thing to bring up, but at the same time it's helpful to bring it up. And I mean, it's hard, like when you live with someone and you love them, but then you have fights with them, like that can be hard at times. But it's all about being good at communicating. And I mean, yeah, bad times crop up, but you work through them and then things get better. And I remember hearing that as a single person, being like, oh no, it's gonna be totally unbearable and horrible, but I mean, it's hard, but you can manage anything you put your mind to. Another thing that I love about being married is that we work together. We have our own individual goals, we have mutual goals, and we love and support each other in that. We make things happen for each other. We have unconditional support, and we're truly making each other better people. And a lot of the stuff that I'm saying, I feel like I'm just restating cliches I heard a lot when I was single, but it's kind of fun to find out what those things mean for yourself. We are equally invested in each other's growth. Marriage is a balancing of two people's needs. Sometimes he'll need me home, sometimes I'll need to be out, sometimes I'll need friends over, sometimes he'll need quiet space, and vice versa. Like, we go both ways with those things. And it's all about choosing to love and respect the other person. And, you know, it's like knowing yourself enough. Like, I think marriage only works when you can take care of your own needs. And then it's nice to have someone else to help you meet your needs, but you can't depend on another person to meet all of your needs, and they shouldn't suck the life out of you either. But, you know, because you're married to someone, you want to see them do their very best, and so you give to them what they need and watch them grow and be a better person, and it's such a great payoff. So I hope that answers my friend's questions on how being married is different than being single. You can't be as spontaneous, you have more responsibilities, and you have to communicate about things that are difficult, but in the end you have someone who's there for you, supports you, that you're comfortable with, who knows you inside and out, that you can work towards your goals with. But yeah, ultimately, be self-sufficient, whether single or married, it'll help the world. Thanks for watching, and give this video a thumbs up if you like it, subscribe to my channel, and comment if you have any insights or thoughts on marriage and relationships, or how married life is different from single life. Thanks for watching, remember to keep taking positive steps. Positive steps.